Hey guys, welcome back to Saltwater Reef channel. I'm Jim, and wanted to kind of talk to you a little bit about what the sump is that's powering the 530 gallon. I've been asked a couple different times to talk about what I've done, what I'm using. Currently right now, this is just a still thing in progress, but it seems to be running pretty well. Now there's going to be more things added to this sump in the future, so don't think that this is the end all to it. And I would tell you probably long term this sump is not going to be sufficient enough to run my tank long term. I like a lot of fish, so I know that I'll be adding more sumps and more water volume to this tank. So I thought I would show you where I currently sit, what I've done, what problems I have, things like that, and show you. So let me turn it around and let you see what we are. So this is the current sump for the 530. It's a 180 gallon tank. I have the water coming in right over here. Comes in the long pipe. It's a 3-inch pipe, so no fish should get stuck in there. And it empties into a container here and then flows over the top. And a lot of the bigger chunks get caught right here in the screen, which is just screen, the netting mesh from that people use for algae scrubbers, which you get from Hobby Lobby and stuff like that. Then it goes down through, it falls down through some egg crate into the next container, and of course right now the water level is up, so I need to roll the container. I just wanted to kind of show you, or roll the mat to show you what happens currently. So I change this mat out about every 2 weeks or something like that, and then this is part of a continuous roller mat that I have that's almost 40 feet of felt, and I roll this forward 12 inches about every 1 to 2 days. So as you see, it just comes up and over, and then I have a bucket that's sitting down here on the floor that as soon as it's accumulated the material, as you can see, all junky, I throw it in some bleach water and rinse it a couple times in my washing machine and then roll it back up. This is actually the second use of this mat roller here, and I just get the material from Walmart or from Hobby Lobby, depending on the felt. This one's actually a little bit thicker felt, and it clogs up a little faster. So really all you have to do is just grab the piece here. It's got a little bit of a suction that builds up, and I break that and pull it forward the next 12 inches and then set it back down. And as you can see, the water has already started to drain back through. And that's what I do about every 2 days. So real easy, no filter socks, no something like this. And this is, like I said, is almost 40 feet of material. So I get about 2 months, 2 to 3 months out, 2.5 months out of this one mat. And like I said, I just let it collect up and then take it in and wash it again and roll it back up. Going from there, there's a whole bunch of pot scrubbies, which I know a lot of people don't do anymore, but they seem to be working pretty well. This has been going for about a year now. And then it has a hole that enters into this next chamber. There's one skimmer in the back, which is a Skimz's skimmer. And then I'm using a Monster Skimz's biopellet reactor. And then I just have a Next Reef charcoal one to polish the water. There are Marine Pure blocks and Marine Pure bio balls kind of going throughout the sump. And then I added about a month and a half ago, I added just an algae reactor, which at the time I needed to add it, but it's not, we've lowered the nitrates down quite a bit and it's not running nearly as much. Now, because of my bio load, I do have to empty the Skimzy skimmer about every 2 days. I mean, it's working pretty hard. I really like it. It's quiet, pretty easy to empty and clean. But I probably will end up with another skimmer just because of how much bio load we're going to have in here when I add the other tanks and stuff. Some of this will move around. There's multiple heaters sitting in here, actually on different controllers. And I'll show you those in a little bit. And then basically a couple more Marine Pure blocks, and then 2 Jabo 15,000s running the tanks, one for each side of the tank, as you can see. They've been running for a year, no problems at all. And so there's the 2 controllers, controller A, controller B. 1 pump is on each of the controllers. We tried to split the heaters, so the heaters are attached over here, and there's actually 2 heaters per, I think right now there's not, but there's usually 2 heaters per one or controller. So so that's the 2 controllers, an A and a B, as you can see. There's A there, B there, and they are on different circuits within the house also. The plan is now to we're working on this right here, which is going to be a new sink. There will be a sink sitting over here. There's a drain here behind the wall, on the wall, to empty the water into. And then there will be another storage tank, and then probably a 125-foot refugium sitting over here to help too. I kind of like refugiums. I will be adding it and kind of going, the refugium will basically be sitting here and going long ways out from this 180, so it'll make kind of a U in here. But we're still adding to the tank. If you have any questions, what's going on, I'll answer them. But that's kind of how the sump is for this one right now. I've got flow meters that are going to go in over here. I've just got to finish hooking them up. That are going to be attached to each of the pumps to watch the flow. And of course, we're only running these Jabos on only half the water volume, which is almost 4,000 gallons on max. So supposedly, we're about halfway on the 2 Jabo ones, which seems to turn over the water pretty well for me. So if you have any questions, want to know a little bit more about what I've done, let me know. But that's kind of how the sump is doing right now. It's keeping the tank running without too much trouble. So if any questions, let me know. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.